Hello, it's Mark Atwood. Welcome to Adventures in a Meat Suit. Today I'm joined by Oliver Rogers. Hello, Oliver.
Hi, pleasure to meet you.
You too, you too. Now, the reason I've got Oliver on is because Oliver is a young filmmaker based in England, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Swindon, born and bred.
Swindon. I've got a funny story about Swindon, but I won't tell it now.
Cool.
It involves getting lost in an aeroplane, but that's another story. So with Oliver's made a feature-length film on a very small budget called The Black Spot, which is about the secret space program. And I was so intrigued that I thought we should have a chat. So do you want to tell us a bit about your life so far, Oliver, and how you got to make this film?
Yeah, so I'm 22 now. And when I started making the film, I think I was 20, going on 21. And so I was home educated until I was 14. And then I went to a college in Swindon to do film and TV production. That wasn't all that good. I didn't learn too much from there. So I just went and worked on other friends' films and big and small films and just learned by doing it basically. So then college, I ended up college, I was 18. I'd watched some videos on like the secret space program, and during college I'd written a short film that's just like sort of a debriefing sort of setting of the soldier who's come back from space and two other agents are debriefing him. So we made that in an afternoon. That was a short film called Full Disclosure. And that was only about 9 minutes long. Put it on YouTube, and then we posted it into like UFO groups and stuff like that on Facebook. And then that just got like big overnight. Like I'm used to getting maybe like 300 views on a film. That's quite nice. But this went from like 300 to like 11,000 like over 2 days. It's just, so that was mad. And then we got asked to make a follow-up to that, to play at Contact in the Desert that year, which is pretty cool. And then me and my producer sat down and just thought, there's something in this. There's a good fan base in it, and there's a lot we can do. So then I wrote The Black Spot, and that's how it became a thing, really.
So there's a few things there that are interesting. Firstly, what I picked up on is the home education, which I'm a big fan of. I did home education in Marrakesh for 3 years with my own kids, and the difference in them going back into a school system is shocking. You know, in terms of their intelligence and their creativity and everything else, just gets bashed out of them. So that means that you were not indoctrinated, and it also means that when you got into the system, it didn't serve you very well. So. One of the reasons why I wanted to speak to you, apart from the fact that you made this film, is that it just warms the cockles of my heart that there's young people, and I say young people because I'm an old fucker now, but there's young people out there just getting on and doing stuff, right? Because it's a wonderful example of what sovereignty means to me, and I think that you're a shining light and an example of that. But so obviously you got an interest in filmmaking and stuff, but I'm interested in how you got to the subjects of the secret space program, because it's a niche subject, really. There's not a lot of people on planet Earth that know about it, and those that might have heard about it think it's a load of nonsense. So how did you what sparked your interest in it?
I've always had a fascination with UFOs and the paranormal. So I think it was, I must have been 19 or 20, and there's a group of us, because I'm based in Wiltshire, so I've just got Avebury just down the road, and so that's like the UFO hotspot of the country, basically.
Oh, by the way, I'm in the UFO hotspot of Ireland.
Excellent.
And this town itself was the headquarters of the UFO Society of Ireland until the founder of that died about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I can see the hills from here, from my window. And I know 4 men that saw a UFO there 40 years ago and lost like a couple of hours of their life, and they refused to talk about it anymore because RTE took this out of them so badly. And the woman that ran the UFO Society here was always out on the lake. There's a portal in the lake. Most people around here know about it, and she was always out there with a dowser trying to find it. So we're in kind of like the English and Irish equivalents right now, which is cool.
It is very cool. So no, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I was out with my parents and some of their friends. We were on Knapp Hill, which is a famous hill in Wiltshire, just near Pewsey, I think, on the way to Pewsey. And someone had bought a massive festival laser out, which we were shining up, you know, the ones that would go like 2 miles or something like that, or something stupid like that they have at festivals. I saw 4 UFOs that night.
What did they look like?
They were just orbs up in the sky. I saw one on its own, and it had a flight path of like bam, 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 like that. And then half an hour later, we saw 3 of them come together and form a triangle formation, and then fly off in that formation, which is really cool.
And of course, in Wiltshire, it's full of crop circles as well, isn't it?
Of course, yeah, of course. So we've got a couple of shots of crop circles in the black spot. You have to, really, don't you?
Of course you do.
And then,
do you do any drone footage? Do you ever go and film them when they appear?
I've not got a drone, but I've got friends that do have a drone. So we've got some drone footage of it in the movie. And weirdly enough, that hill as well, it overlooks one of the Rothschilds' houses, where they've got a pyramid in the garden, which just makes it even more. Yeah, I know. So that's what, like, I wouldn't say I was interested in them before that, but then I really started to get into it after that night, and my parents are into it as well. So I think they showed me some interviews with a guy. I won't say his name on this podcast.
Fine.
I have a history with him. You can find out who he is. It's quite easy.
Now, this podcast is not about people, you know, slagging anybody off. It's about,
no, of course not.
discovering good stuff. So
no, of course not. So I got listening to loads of different interviews and thought, oh, this is brilliant. Like, why has no one made a film of this? There's so much content there that you can use and take bits from. That's so interesting. So that's where it started. But it started with the short film. I only intended to make the short film, but then I realized there's like that specific group of people that will watch it. Like, normally with short films, only filmmakers watch short films.
Yeah,
really, you don't get many of your average people watching short films. So I knew there's a really good fan base there, and there's a really big community and stuff like that. So I thought, excellent, we can take this further. And it was originally going to be a web series I planned. So I was going to do Full Disclosure 1, 2, 3, and then it just went on like that. But we took a look at it and thought the amount of time that's going to take us to film, and the amount of time that is in general, that's going to end up feature length. So
might as well make a feature.
Put it all together, make a feature film. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think it's a good time to show it. I think we'll play the trailer, if that's right. So everybody can see some of your work. Did you see that was 1:11 long? Did you notice that? That, by the way, everybody, is on Oliver's website, which is wettoeproductions.com. So you can go and have a look at more of his work there. So very atmospheric and intriguing. What's in the bottle?
Thank you. Yeah, well,
I'm not asking you to tell us. I don't want to. You don't have to do spoilers, by the way.
I won't do spoilers in case people haven't watched it. But as you'll notice, it's shot in the film noir style because I'm a massive fan of classic films and film noir, but we had, I think the budget for this was like £2,000, which is, even for a short film, that's just like not even a day's worth of budget.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do something old school and easy. We didn't want any big fancy setups, drones and gimbals and all that sort of crazy stuff that they have now. So we made the choice of doing it black and white, make it feel as old as possible, basically.
And necessity is the mother of all invention, so it actually makes you come up with more interesting stuff. In fact, watching that, when the BBC goes down, which it will, when all this is over, and taken out of the hands of the Satanists, and Doctor Who gets back to, you should go and work on Doctor Who, because that'd be great. Because
reboot Doctor Who in that old style, yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, some of that was reminiscent to me of some of the John Pertwee, Patrick Troughton stuff, which is, I think, some of the best work ever done on TV.
Yeah.
But it's a great property that should have been put in good hands. But that's another subject.
Yeah.
So that if anybody wants to watch that film, it's on Troma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spot. So the Black Spot is famous. Was actually an episode of Doctor Who called The Black Spot with Matt Smith, which is the old pirate thing. Is if you saw the Black Spot, it was all over, wasn't it? If you got it.
Yeah. Treasure Island. I came from Treasure Island.
Yeah, that's right. So how does that relate to the Secret Space Program?
Well, I don't know if you've watched the whole thing yet, or
listen. I have to be honest with you. I don't have time to fart at the moment, and I have watched about the first 15 minutes, and then I fell asleep because I'm an old man now. And then I get up, and then I'm at it again. But I am going to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, that's fine. But no, so without giving too much away, it focuses on a soldier in the Secret Space Program.
You get a bit closer to the mic, Ollie.
Sorry, it focuses on a soldier from the Secret Space Program. I didn't use any pre-existing names like ICC or anything like that. So I came up with my own one, which is the IOTF, which is the International Off-World Trade Federation. So he's come back from a mission from Mars. He gets debriefed, and in the organisation as well, there's trades officers. So they do trade deals with other UFOs, trading our human technology for UFO technology. But these two trades officers start poking around in areas that they're not meant to, and they find out that they're taking kids at a young age and then regressing them. So those two characters, they get on the run together, the trades officer and the soldier. They go and rescue a girl who's about to be kidnapped. Sorry, my cats.
That's all right. We used to pet them this year. They're all welcome.
So they're on the run. They get hunted down by an MK Ultra assassin that's sent off after them. And the girl they end up getting involved with has telekinetic powers. So that's kind of what the film is about. It's a chase movie, basically. That's where the black spots come from, that they're marked for death.
Cool.
I hope that makes sense.
No, that's great. So your circle of friends, have you got I suppose you've not got a traditional circle of friends like most people have from school, because you grew up in a different way to the majority of people around you.
Yeah.
Do you have any peers that think you're a nutter?
I think I'm a nutter. Well, I used to have some friends that thought I was a nutter. I'm not really friends with them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cut down a couple of years ago. I cut down, and then I've just got a nice core of friends now. Not all of them on the same page, but they're all nice people and they're all open-minded. My girlfriend, she's quite open-minded as well.
Very important.
Which is good. But I think, as well as being home educated, I think a lot of my friends are older than me, and as a kid I got on better with adults than I did kids. I don't know if you're the same. I just think they're more grown up, they're more intelligent than.
Well, actually, in my life experience, I've found that the age is not actually that important. It's the age of the person. It's the age of the soul.
Yeah.
And my son, for example, I knew as soon as he was born, he was a really old soul, and he's out working with a 70-year-old now and just picking up loads of knowledge. And it's all very, very important that we hang out with we find our tribe and learn from each other. Because we've all got something to teach, because we've all been here millions of times. Well, not all of us, some of us have. How's it been for this year then? For somebody 22 now, right? You've got a lot of knowledge that a lot of people your age have not got. So your perspective of this year, this incredible year, I'm interested in that.
I'm just fed up with it. My partner, she works at the hospital. She works at our central hospital in IT, so she's in there every day working with it, but it's not. The hospital's been dead quiet. It's not really affected us too much. So I'm just waiting for it to go back to normal. I don't think it'll ever go back to fully normal. Hopefully it'll only get better as the year goes on.
Are you familiar with what's supposed to happen on December the 21st?
No, I'm not, I don't think.
There's a huge planetary alignment that's not happened in a very long time.
Yeah,
and
Saturn, isn't it? Saturn
and Jupiter.
Jupiter aligning, yeah.
And this is going to be there's lots of different theories about what it is, but basically everybody does agree that it's going to be huge, and it's a huge solar event, and it's going to change what it means to be human.
That sounds good. I can only look forward to that.
Yeah.
It's an improvement on what's happening now, then that's fine.
Well, this is a clear out of the evil, basically, that's been controlling everything for a very long time. And I don't know if have you seen Michael Jaco's channel?
Not yet, no.
So Michael Jaco's an ex-Navy SEAL. He was in SEAL Team 6, which is basically like SAS, SBS, English equivalent. He worked for the CIA for 11 years. He's a psychic intuitive. He describes himself. I was listening to his podcast this morning. He describes himself as a weapon. He is a weapon. he's an amazing guy. And I went on a roundtable with him and JCK and a woman called Carmen a couple of weeks ago. And basically, Michael Jacob told me that I was in the secret space program, and this is the first time I'd heard about it. And I was like, really? Am I? I've had a lifetime of weird experiences, and a lot of things do add up to possibly. So I'm very, very interested in the subject. I don't proclaim to know, be an expert in it at all. I've got all of Dr. Michael Sala's books. Have you got that? I suppose you've read those, have you?
I know of Michael Sala, yeah. Yeah, I to him.
So I had a deep interest in the SSP when it first started becoming prominent, but then I've had lots of experiences with people that have come across different people within all of that. And one of the things that came out of it was that some of the information that has been put out there was paid for by some organization to be put out there, which means there's disinformation out there. So it's very difficult to know what it actually is. When you have your own personal experiences, like I do of visions and dreams and things and waking up like I've been beaten up and stuff like that, it does make me question it. And I'm hoping that when we get through all of this, a lot more of this will be clear. But one of the things that I'm excited about is that Hollywood's gone. It's done.
Yeah.
Right? So I've already said the BBC is done. All of these channels, Netflix, BBC, RTE, CNN, they're all Operation Mockingbird. They're all part of this satanic paedophile thing. They're all paedophile protecting, absolute disgraceful outfits that have been doing nothing but MK Ultra on the whole planet for the last 100 years. What that means is there's going to be this whole new media that is going to come up, where it's going to be led by people like you, who are going to be making films about subjects that people should know about, and the truth, and you know, going into these things. So do you agree with that? Have you visualized that yourself? Or
yeah, I have. I mean, I would, as someone that's been, I've been in and out of this industry for about 5 years now. I've been working on films, so I've known people that have been in like the really big. I've known people that worked on really big projects, and people that have worked on tiny projects as well. I've got into it just because I love film. I love watching films and I love making films. So I would never want to have to be in charge of a massive film. That just seems like too much of a headache to me. I don't want to have someone dictating what I have to do as a director. I don't want any studio bearing over me. As long as I can make the films I want to make, then I'm happy. I don't mind if I don't make any money out of it. Well, if I make films that entertain people and give them joy, then that's
well, I think we're moving into a time of complete truth, but we're also moving into kind of an attention economy and a sovereign economy where, you know, stuff gets rewarded based upon its merits. Yeah. And the merits of that stuff aren't just like the artistic or, you know, those kind of merits. It's also like the integrity of what it is, rather than the subterfuge that Hollywood has done on the majority of people, which, you know, there's just fascinating things like, you know, Hollywood hasn't always been bad, and there've been good things that have come through it. I mean, Mel Gibson's work has somehow managed to come through, like Braveheart, for example. He had to fund himself because nobody in Hollywood wanted to fund it, and that's an extraordinary piece of work. And you go back and you look at the best Christmas film ever made with Jimmy Stewart, which was I can't remember what it's called now. Clarence, the angel gets his wings. God, do you remember? Have you ever seen that film? Jimmy Stewart, and he wishes he was dead. And
Wonderful Life.
A Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. And in that film was really a film against the bankers. You know, it was an allegory for the Federal Reserve. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, Ted Turner, who's a massive Satanist, eugenicist arsehole, who he bought the rights to that film in order to block it being shown anymore in America. So it's hard to find it in America for the last 20 years. People have not been, because it's such an uplifting film. It's a positive film.
It's a classic film. It's
more than that. It's a spiritual film, you know, and it lifts people. I mean, I remember watching that 25 years ago, just bawling my eyes out. It just touches you on such a soul level, and that's what we need more of.
We do.
As a society at large, worldwide, is more of that, because people don't realize how disgusting the movies have been for the last God knows how long. So what kind of projects have you got coming up?
I've just finished, literally just the other day, finished filming my new short film called Toast, that's just a
comedy.
It's a short comedy film. Yeah, it's quite silly. We've got the guy from This Country, the BBC 3 show.
I've not watched TV in 10 years, so I have no references anymore.
Okay, we've got Paul Cooper as the star of that, which is really cool. But I'm just taking it one project at a time. So I started writing this short film at the start of lockdown, and we've just finished filming it now. So I'm not thinking. I don't want to think too many things ahead, otherwise I just won't get things done.
Yeah, well, you've got to work the way you're comfortable with. So, you got nice things planned for Christmas? Are you
seeing family?
Yeah,
just going around my mum and dad's, I think.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the website again? wettoeproductions.com.
My website's wettoeproductions.com. You can find out about the Black Spot and all my other projects is all there. We've got links to Trome Now, which you can watch now. It's the first month is free, and it's just $4 after that, so you can watch it for free. We're also in London Liftoff as well this year, which is on now through December, so you can go watch that on there. And we've also got some Black Spot merch as well, which helps us
support the film,
which helps us make more films, basically. Yes, if you like it, you can get a t-shirt and stuff like that.
Well, I'm a big believer. You know, when you said you weren't interested in making money, I think I understand that and appreciate it. But while we're still in the system, that involves money, it's important that we have the ability, we give people the option to support stuff. So anybody watching this who wants to go and watch Oliver's film, please go and buy a t-shirt or something just to help him out, because we need more people like Oliver in the world. So I just want to say thanks for sharing all of that, and keep in touch when you do your next film. Let's get it out, and I'll see if I can get Michael Jaco to have a look at your secret space stuff, because he's got a massive audience. It'd be great to get you on there.
Thank you ever so much. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, that's great. You have a great day, and say hello to your dad, because he emailed me a few times, and he's a great fella.
Thank you.
Cheers, Oliver. Take care.
See you soon.
Bye.